Here we are at Lightning Express, and today we're installing a 55 kW solar system for Joe and his family here. Joe and his wife, they are longtime customers of us. I think they went solar on their home over 10 years ago. We've been talking about solar on his business for a long time. We were looking at different locations, and then since he's been here, this was a great site for solar, and it actually had a solar system on that back roof already. So it came, when Joe got the building, it had an existing solar system on it that was on that back roof, but we looked at it and we're looking at repairing it, but it was just completely defunct. Connections were bad on the roof, inverters were bad on the bottom, equipment was just failing all over. And it was an older system. I mean, we're talking probably 16 plus years old on that one. So we're able to build a new system out for Joe that's meeting his electricity needs. The system that we're building here is gonna produce roughly 55,000 kilowatt hours. And based on the estimations of what his building is using, what that old solar system, what minimal power that was putting out, that's what we anticipated that his electric usage would be. But I have his plan set up in the truck over here. So right now the guys are putting mounts down and gonna start rails after they get the mounts down, but really right now working on layout and doing mounts. But this, if we fast forward a couple days, this is what the system will look like. So we have basically three rows in portrait, one row in landscape on the top of the roof. And then on the back side, we're using the lower roof here, and we have 2 rows in portrait there. This is the plan set that the installers get, our electricians get, but we're using 120 REC 460 panels that we already have stacked on the back over there. And we're using Enphase IQ8X microinverters on the system. Usually on commercial jobs, we're using Solar Edge most of the times, but we're actually not 3-phase here. We're single phase 400 amp service. So we're able to use Enphase on this job. And I know you can use Enphase on commercial jobs, but just Solar Edge always seemed to be a better application for commercial jobs in the past, just because of if you have different 3-phase with a high leg, Solar Edge always seemed to be more accommodating than Enphase. But we're pumped that we get to use the 460 panels with the IQ8X microinverters on this system. And it's going to be putting out a ton of power. Let me give you the exact power that we're talking about at the end of this. We're actually going to be producing 59,760 kilowatt hours. That's our estimate annually on what this system is going to be producing. So yeah, it's an exciting system. We'll take you through the phases of it. Today is day 1, where we're just getting the mounts up and the rails. Then we'll do the trunk cables with the Enphase microinverters. After that, we will then start to put the panels up, do the conduit and the wiring, which is going to happen on the other side of the building there. But we'll walk over here. I'll show you the panels that we have staged and the Iron Ridge XR100 rail that we're using. So these are our panels. They're already stacked, ready to go. All the REC panels, our microinverters are in the boxes on that side. But you can see here our positive lead, our negative lead. And we feel it's really important to use quality equipment on commercial applications. When business owners or commercial businesses are looking to go solar, usually people come in and just give the lowest possible price with equipment that's the cheapest, and that's not my philosophy. You know, we're here for the long term and want to make sure these systems are going to produce and not have issues down the road. So by using, you know, an REC panel that's 460 watts with that Enphase microinverter, it's just protecting the business owner and also us as the installer, making sure if there is failures, we're using quality equipment that we could come back to and get replaced if we need to down the road. So you can see here, these are our L feet. These go on top of the quick mounts. So it's L feet, quick mount, L feet, and then our rail, which is right over here. We're using XR100 Iron Ridge rail. And again, this is totally overkill. Like usually on a commercial application, you'll see rail under the panels that's just galvanized the way it looks on the inside. But having a black rail with the all black panels on this building, which is going to be a showpiece in the center of town, you just want it to look sleek on the roof and almost like it's not even there. So this is our rail that's wind, snow load for this area is going to hold up really good. And another big thing is safety. So you could see everything is roped off on right here around our panels, roped off over here, roped off on the other side of the building. So if anything falls off the roof, there's no one walking under it. And that's a really big deal. And our safety inspector, Mike, just pulled up as well. So he's gonna come here. And that's what safety is really, obviously everyone could say it's important to them, but it's critical to what we do. So we actually hire a third-party safety inspector to come out and just audit our jobs and see how we're doing. Look at our anchors, look at our fall protection, look at our safety zones, make sure our records, everything is dialed in. So really excited that Mike is here. I thought he was actually coming yesterday. That's cool that he's here today. Unexpected guest, but yeah, we'll keep it going. So here we are back at Lightning Express, and it looks a lot different than the last time you saw it. In the last video, we were putting mounts down, just getting set up to put rails. There it is, the system is fully up. We have not energized it yet. That'll be happening shortly, but just blown away by how clean everything looks. I'm not because our team does such a good job. I'm just the darker shingles with the black panels. It just looks really sweet coming down Main Street here in Gardiner, which is my hometown. So we finished the install and we had really bad weather throughout. So our team was up here. They were soaked after both days of this install and did a really good job on it. Some of the takeaways from this install and from the previous video, when we were out here, we were saying how we took down the old system. Well, with the new system, it's just amazing how we cut down the components, probably by like 60%. On the wall in the back of this building, they had 40 feet of all the inverters, disconnects, switches. We have all the panels on this side of the roof, some panels on the back side, and roughly 4 foot by 8 foot of space where all of our strings combine into. Our engineer did such a good job on this project designing it where we had as little voltage drop as possible because we're using microinverters. And when you're using microinverters, voltage drop is even more critical because we need to be communicating with those microinverters not only to power on, but also to get production of each panel individually. So I believe we did strings of 10 on this system and then broke those strings out into 5. So strings of 10, but we ran them in strings of 5 to the junction box where we connected them and then ran them back to our combiner panel on the other side of the building. By doing this, it was a lot more difficult on the install team, but it helped us get as little voltage drop as possible and just was that extra step where we know down the road we're not going to have any issues with this system. So before we pack it up here, I just want to go on the other side of the building just to show you all the components of the balance of system side of things where we tie this system into the grid. So this is the wall where the old system had all their balance of equipment. What is balance of equipment? That's disconnects, combiner boxes, inverters, all the electrical material basically that's coming off of the roof for the system. So we're gonna blur the old company's name out that installed this system, but I just wanna give you an idea. We took this all down already, but from here all the way to here, were all the components for this system. Now, this system was decades old. It was an old Selectria inverter system, but I just wanted to give you guys a good idea of basically a throwback of what was here in the past. And now let's go over to our balance of systems. And keep in mind, our system is producing more and bigger than what was here in the past. Here's everything for the new system. And technically, it starts here, ends here, because this is the meter for the building. Behind that is the main service panel, main feed for the building where we're tying into, we're tapping those lines and back feeding our solar into there. So it's just amazing. You could see how the equipment's been condensed down so much, where we're basically taking up 4 to 5 feet of this wall versus 30 feet. The other key feature with this building is it's single phase, which allowed us to do microinverters. If it was 3-phase, we'd be more in a solar edge and inverter situation where, yeah, we'd have a little more extra space we need, but I love this system. This design came out amazing. If you want to check it out, we're right here on Main Street in Gardiner, Lightning Express. And signing out, and if you're interested in doing a system like this for your business, you can reach out to us at buysolarlocal.com.